If you've lost your job and you're feeling absolutely shaken up by the process, you might feel confused, you might feel lost, and just wondering how this could happen to you. I'm here to tell you that there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. But the absolute worst thing that you can do right now is to panic. Even if your situation seems dire, even if you don't know what is next, even if it feels like the whole market and the world is overwhelming, trust me, if you panic, it makes you desperate. If you panic, it clouds your judgment and blinds you from seeing the opportunities that are right there for you to seize and take a hold of and transform your life from a position of weakness, confusion, anger, because losing your job can make you feel angry, to feeling empowered, successful, and confident, knowing that you can absolutely smash whatever challenge comes your way and you can nail and secure the bag in your next role. If you've lost your job and you're looking for guidance and basically someone to make you feel like, I can do this, you have come to the right place. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Dels. I'm the founder of this channel, obviously, Career Game Changers, which is targeted at high achievers who want to go from jobs that are just meh to transforming their lives and building successful careers and businesses that they love, and also on their own terms. Even if you lose your job and you're a subscriber to this channel, it's not even going to faze you. So I strongly recommend that you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You like this video and you comment and you engage and you help us grow this channel. Before I dive right into it, I want you to know that this is not just someone who's just talking for the sake of talking. I've been where you are, I've experienced that feeling, and it is the worst, especially when it's got nothing to do with your skills, your abilities, especially if it's not even a job that you loved anyway. At the end of this video, you are going to find a step-by-step roadmap that you can use straight away to basically map out your next move. And if you feel like you need someone to hold your hand through the process, you can apply to work with me, but for now, I'm just going to dive right into it. The first thing that you need to do if you've lost your job and you are feeling slightly overwhelmed right now is to take some time and space. This is absolutely crucial, and it's something that is going to be the entire theme of this video as I share with you more and more actionable tips that you can follow. The reason why time and space is so important is because you need to take a step back. If you are acting from a desperate place, if you are applying for jobs, it's going to come across in your personality. You're going to be tense, frustrated all the time. And that is not the conducive space to be in to actually figure out your next steps. And your absolute next step should be to check in with yourself. Take a step back. How are you speaking to yourself right now? How are you thinking? How are you feeling about this? I know this might seem like woo, especially if you are, a certain type of person that doesn't like to talk in the abstract. I'm telling you, this is not abstract because you need to really pay attention to how you're talking to yourself. Are you blaming yourself for losing your job, which could be absolutely wrong because you could have lost your job for a number of reasons. It could have been because of the economy. It could have been like your role is not needed anymore. How are you speaking to yourself? Are you empowering yourself to know that things will get better? And also, it's so important to check in with yourself and figure out, actually, what do you want to do? A lot of people do their 9 to 5s because they just need to earn some money, sustain their family, sustain themselves, and basically fund their lifestyles. But they have a passion for something else, or they feel like, I don't love this role, I don't love this company, I would love to do something else, but they continue to do what they're doing because it's just easy. You've always done that. Now is a time to take advantage. The choice has been taken away from you, and you could either complain about the fact that things happened without you being ready for it, or you can be like, hey, this is the push that I really need to do this thing that I've always wanted to do. And I strongly, strongly encourage you to really check in with yourself all the time. Every time that you feel a bit low, even when you feel happy, checking in is going to make you feel like, okay, I'm either on the right path or I need to dust myself up, get away from this mood of sadness to actually doing the thing that I truly want to do. The next thing is to check in on your finances. We could talk about check in on yourself, figure out what you want to do next, take some time and space. Time and space is incredibly important, but how much time and space you take depends on how much you have in your bank account. Let's be real. Especially if you don't have a bank of mom and dad or people to support you, it might mean that you don't have the luxury of taking, for example, a month out to figure out your next step, or 2 months plus to maybe set up that business and basically pivot from employee to entrepreneur. But if you look at your finances and you figure out how much you have in your emergency fund, how much you actually need to live on a day-to-day basis, can you reduce your expenses? Because when the market is good, when you have a good job, you're like going out for dinner every Friday, you're traveling all the time, and you are indulging in some of these like extracurricular activities that are not exactly crucial to help you like live on a day-to-day basis. It might seem like you usually spend $5,000 a month and you're like, oh my God, I don't have a job. How am I going to survive? But when you look at your expenses, you could be like, I don't need to go out for dinner twice every week. I can take back my Deliveroo. I can cut some of these expenses so that I don't feel as panicky. I concentrate on the things that are crucial, and then I can afford to, again, figure out what it is that I want to do next. Do I need to go for a higher paying job? Am I cool with taking something that pays less but makes me happier because I figure out actually I don't need $5,000 a month because I don't really spend that much. If I cut back on certain things, maybe I only spend about $2,000 a month. I'm just throwing out figures, but the reason why your finances are so important is because they dictate your next steps. Once you've done that, it is time for you to really analyze what it is that you want to do next. Do you want to get a different job? Do you want to completely switch industries and move into another one? Do you want to finally become an entrepreneur if that's a vision that you've always had for yourself? What exactly is it that you want to do next? No one can really answer this question. And this again is why it's so important to take a step back and assess, not just yourself, but your finances, and then really where you want to be next. You look at where you are right now, the type of work that you're doing. How did you feel when you were doing it? It's hard when you are in that moment where you've lost your job and you're just confused, right? But again, if you are able to really think, what do I like to do? Do I want to do that as my next role? Do I want to do that as my next job? Or is that just a hobby and I want to continue to move up in my career? In any case, if you wanted to start a new business, for example, you would need to actually start being practical as opposed to talking conceptually in the earlier stages. Now it's like, okay, I want to start a new business. I need to map out a business plan. And don't get bogged down in semantics. A business plan does not need to be 200 pages because many people do this to stop themselves from actually taking action. They conceptualize and they dream and they fantasize, but without realizing that it's more important to take the first step. So even if you map out the summary of this business that you want to create, that will literally make you feel empowered, like you're moving in a positive direction to where you want to be. Again, if you want to switch jobs, if you want to switch industry, obviously, where is the most important place to get started? It's your resume. Have a look at your resume. Does it reflect your value? Does it reflect your experience? Is it aligned with the types of roles that you want to go for? Even if the market is in a shambles, as I like to say, if you have a resume that is optimized, you will still have opportunities coming to you. It will be easier for you to connect with recruiters and hiring managers and basically just dust yourself up and get another role. It is important that your resume follows the SOQ method, which is something that I break down with my clients in my program, which is that every single experience that you state in your resume needs to be specific. You can't just talk in broad terms on your resume. It's not impactful. And everyone has a dry resume, especially people who just hunt for resumes online and just copy them and tweak a few things. That's not going to work. Secondly, your resume needs to show objective experience. So it needs to be something that is not just personal and saying something like, oh, I worked for the best company in the world. That is rubbish. You need to state the company that you work for, the role that you had, objective is specific, what you did in that capacity, and very importantly, what value you created. That value that you created has to be quantifiable. For example, if you're a project manager for a specific technology company, if you included something in your CV that said, I was part of a team that worked on this product that was launched to the market, don't just leave it at that. You need to talk about how many downloads you had. What was the result of that? And you don't have to go into essays. The way we break this down in the program is that you can nail these points in 2 sentences maximum. Again, you have to come from an excited perspective. You have to feel like, there's so many opportunities out there. Yes, I may have lost my job, but there is going to be an even better role. And if you think about the parallels that can be drawn by the fact that so many companies, so many successful companies were launched during the last recession. I personally know many people that lost their jobs in the last recession and basically landed in jobs that are much, much better than the things that they were working on before. And they were able to tell the old bosses deuces. I remember when this company that I worked with didn't continue my role and they called me and I was following up with them for ages. I was like, please, could you let me know what happened, why I wasn't kept on and things like that. They didn't respond to my emails. It took about a month before I heard back from them. In that time, I followed the exact process that I outlined in this video, and I was able to secure a job with one of the best law firms in the world. It's indisputable. And I was so happy. I was so grateful. And I think finally the old company calls me and they were saying, oh, we know it must be very disappointing for you to hear and blah, blah, blah. And I let this lady finish. I hounded you to give me feedback, give me something to work on, give me something to feel a little bit better about the fact that you didn't keep me on and you didn't respond to me. So I let her finish. And I was like, oh, thanks very much. Actually, I'm in a very good place. I'm very happy because I just landed a role at this company. And she just went silent. And that just goes to show you that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. If you are proactive and prepared and you don't let the fact that you've lost your job make you feel super sad or super depressed. Look, we are human. It is very, very crappy to lose your job. It affects your self-confidence. It affects really how you can go about your day-to-day. I hope that this video has shown you that there is definitely a way out. You just need to dust yourself up and go for it. And I can help you with that. Like I mentioned, have a look in the description box below. You can use the 9-to-5 transition plan, follow the step-by-step process there, especially in regards to your resume. And again, if you need someone to hold your hand through the process, you can apply to work with me. And if we are a good fit, we can help you nail your next role or business. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Let me know what you thought of this video. Have you ever lost your job before? I'm pretty sure that if you have, it sucked at the time, but I hope that you've gotten through it. All right, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.